Hello, my Libra friends. This is Kristen Redman, Astrological Intuitive, and today we are going to be discussing what 2021 has in store in the skies for you this year. So let's get to it, my Libra friends. This is certainly a year, I guess, just to generalize, where there are going to be some communication breakdowns across the board that lead to communication improvements in all areas of your life. It's a very interesting year in terms of that, thanks to the Mercury retrogrades. And Jupiter and Capricorn work together to enhance romance, fun, your creativity, your sense of self, and your children this year as well. Now, just to let everybody know, this is just a general overall view for all Libras, just the sun sign of Libra. If you want to dig in deeper into what your specific birth chart is as a Libra and how that roadmap of your life, that I call it, is being impacted by the planetary influences this year, there's a link below. Contact me for a reading and we can dig into your chart a little bit further for more information specific for you. But in general, this is for all Libras, right? Libra, the sign that is ruled by Venus, the planet of love and money and balance and harmony. That is what you represent, right? Libra scales, finding the balance in everything. And you see both sides so very well that you want to objectively make the best decision possible because you want to see and weigh out all options. Sometimes that makes making a decision extremely hard for Libra as well, too. But you represent, in the wheel of astrology, you, Libra, represent the 7th house, which deals with partnership, marriage, love, and relationship, close one-on-one relationships. And so you will find that as a Libra this lifetime, you have come here to learn a lot of lessons, a majority of the lessons, through relationship and through partnership. Now, before I start getting into these things, the 2 moons that are the most pivotal for you, especially if you're focused on finding a relationship, fixing a relationship, working on partnership, getting a business partnership, what have you, but if it's a one-on-one relationship that you're focused on this year, to plant those seeds of new beginnings, the Libra new moon on October 6th is going to be your most positive and the most vital for creating new beginnings. The full moon in Libra, which happens on March 28th, is going to signify when endings are happening, when cycles are reaching their completion point. That is going to be very pivotal. Pay attention to what's happening in that time frame at that time. Or if you're ready to release some things in that time, that is going to be the most pivotal. But let's get right into it. I think we are going to start with money. Let's start with money. Money. Okay, so Mars, the planet that is the engine that drives everything, stagnated and went silent last year as it retrograded. It slowed the wheels of progress down in a number of ways. I'm sure you can find a couple that may have happened in 2020 because the engine stalled. Now it's going. It's rocking and rolling, and it's starting out this new year exactly where it needs to be at. Now, what happens is that Mars is going to be going through places that it hasn't been for 2 years in your chart, which has to deal with your financial sectors. All right. It's going to be starting out the new year in your house of finances, in the 2nd house, which deals with your money. That's going to be January 6th through March 4th. It's going to be having you focused on paying off debt, finding new strategies, how to pay that off, how to make more money. And not only that, but thanks to Mars coming back, that's where the confidence is. The confidence lies in that warrior Mars. It's coming into that 2nd house, helping you to stand up for yourself. Like, let's say you want to go for a raise in that time frame that I just showed you from January 6th to March 4th. That gives you the confidence to say to your boss, you know what, I've done all of this and I've taken on all of this. I need more money. You have that confidence behind you to do it and to set new goals. It also gives you that confidence to go and do some side hustle, right? Maybe you do something on the side beyond your normal, 8 to 5 job. This gives you the confidence and energy to do that, to make that side money. Then again, from Halloween until December 13th, Mars is going to be going through that 8th house of yours, which has to do with debt and joint finances as well too. So there's a lot of energy that's going through to help you pay off that excess debt and to focus on coming up with long-term plans moving forward for money. Mars is doing some good things for you where it hasn't been for 2 years there. Now, let's focus on that Venus that I talked about earlier, that planet of love and that planet of money. Your planet Venus is going to be retrograding this year, which it doesn't do every year. Where that's going to be happening, interestingly enough, is in your house of home and family. This happens December 18th. And it carries into 2022. It goes to January 29th of 2022. When I look at a Venus retrograde for anyone, it's a time for reassessment in relationship, a reassessment of how that heart center of yours works, how you give and receive love. I see this happening in your house of home and family and early childhood roots and mom. And I see a lot of assessment in those areas and how they impact how you are in your home now. So there's going to be a lot of looking to how cycles repeat themselves in relationships and how you learned that behavior through observing mom, especially in childhood. That is going to come to the forefront for you this year. And the actualization and realization of how you can stop those repetitive cycles from repeating by observing and stopping them before that wheel can get going again. Okay, a lot of that's going to be examined. But because Venus is going to be retrograding in that area, lots of improvements can be made, all right, to how the dynamic of family works, how the dynamic of that relationship with mom works. But also, just home in general, Venus retrograding, I could see you making improvements to your actual physical structure of your home, or perhaps moving into one that is more fitting for where your family is now, okay? Relationship, though, let's look at it like that. Okay, I'm looking at this from, okay, this is home. We have Venus retrograding. We're looking to the past. We're looking for how the relationship has gone in certain cycles and where there needs to be new energy put into them. That's definitely going to come to the forefront this year. All right, there will certainly be issues. They will be exacerbated by the Mercury retrogrades that are happening in your houses of communication, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. But those are going to bring up communication breakdowns and relationship. And so a lot of that's going to be at the forefront this year. What I see happening, though, is massive restructuring. I see balance coming as a result at the end of this year and moving into 2022. 2021 might be a little difficult with that, but it's a lot of learning through these communication breakdowns and the miscommunications that occur. What I see, though, is in order for the rebuilding process to happen, that you have to actively set a date night. Once a week, once a month, whatever, but you have to do it and you have to stick with it, okay? Because it's going to bring some amazing things as a result because of some other planetary influences that will be happening that we, you know what, let's just talk about it now. Let's just talk about it now. So what you have happening, okay, that's house of home and family, but the next house over is the house of romance. It's the house of happiness, and it's also the house that deals with children. We have Jupiter going through there for you, Libra, where it hasn't been for 12 years. 2012 was the last time that this planet of luck and opportunity went through your house of fun and romance. Boo, boo, boo. That sounds not great. I mean, I know 2017 was a wonderful year for Libra in general because Jupiter was going through your sign at that point, 2016 going into 2017. That was a great time in general. But in terms of the house of you, the things that make you happy, the romance that lights you up, the appreciation that you need, and also the house of children. It's been a minute. It's been 12 years. So this is a time frame in 2021 where opportunities are going to pop up, where romance can surface, where happiness in general can pop up. Just you having fun, getting out and doing things again is going to open up this heart center so much more to your partner. Not only do you have Jupiter bringing lucky opportunities, you have Saturn behind it, working in a 30-year cycle where it hasn't been in this house, really stabilizing the changes that you make in terms of romance and happiness. Now let's look at it from the other perspective too of the 5th house, and that has to deal with children. Jupiter going through could bring lucky opportunities to have children, okay? It can also bring lucky opportunities through for your children now to grow and flourish into the next phase. So maybe they go from being baby into being a little bit more independent, where they can start speaking and doing things and moving on their own. Freeing you up in different ways. Maybe it's your children going from being young adolescents into being teenagers, where they're out with their friends more, and that gives you more time to focus on the things that make you happy, creative endeavors, romantic endeavors that you're ready to get back out to as well. Jupiter is going to be working with your children in that way, but also you have Saturn working until 2023 in that house. Okay, so the next couple of years, Saturn is going to be going through and making sure that these new opportunities that your children are jumping into have good solid roots under them that are going to make massive lasting impacts for the next 30 years for them. So there's wonderful things happening there as well. Now let's go back to the communication breakdown situation that I talked to, because the eclipses are also happening here as well too. In the world of astrology, when we look for new beginnings in someone's chart, we look to see where the eclipses are going to be happening in that person's chart. Now for Libra, it's happening in your 3rd house and your 9th house, okay? So these are the houses of communication. Not only that, but we also have the Mercury retrogrades happening in your 1st and the 3rd and the 9th. We have it happening in all of that as well too. So I look to that and I see new beginnings that happen in how you think, the way that you have viewed things, ideals that you had, maybe beliefs that you've had that you've carried your entire lifetime that are subject to massive overhaul and change. And a lot of it can come through the miscommunication and arguments that happen with your partner or friends or colleagues, all right? It's just how it works, because the Mercury retrogrades are working in tandem with this to help it really come to the forefront of how you think and how you communicate those thoughts for change towards others. Major time, okay? A lot of learning can be done about yourself this year through travel. Okay, that's another thing too. I see that these eclipses are trying to bring travel opportunities for you to explore different cultures, different lands, different ways that people deal with things, that have you introspecting and looking to say, I like the way that they do this, or they handle this. I see how they handle that. And then you start to adopt that into your own style of thoughts and beliefs and communication as well, moving forward. So those are the areas. Oh, and another thing too with these eclipses happening, this is another thing too, Libra, you're an air sign. So you are about communication, right? And you're communicating that to another person. You're a natural teacher, right? This could be a year where these eclipses are opening up opportunities for you to teach the things that you have learned over the past decade to others. That is another option that can happen when these eclipses fall in your houses of communication and learning, all right, and teaching. So let's look at specific birthdays. Now, like I said, if you want to look at your chart in particular, I highly encourage doing a specific reading for you, I do them by FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, phone, and eventually again in person. I'll be doing them too. But in particular, specific birthdays also carry certain things. So if your birthday falls between September 26th and October 24th, basically all Libras, let's just put it in that bucket. Jupiter is working with you to bring luck and opportunities in ways that you haven't seen really since 2017, but also from 12 years ago. Okay, there is some major things that are really, really happening thanks to Jupiter working with your sign to bring where there used to be walls, windows that open up and doors that open. Nothing that you do, it's all by faith that they will happen. You have to have the faith in the darkness that something good will come, and it will. Okay, very strong for Libra this year. Now, if your birthday falls between September 25th and October 9th, Saturn is going to support your growth and development this year based off of the boundaries that you set, and you accepting certain responsibilities and knowing that this is my responsibility, this is the other person's responsibility. I am going to leave that in their court. Don't you try to take that person's responsibility, okay? That's a Libra way to say, okay, you need to do this, but let me hover over and make sure that you're doing it right. Do not do that this year. Saturn is watching you because it's saying you have your role here, they have theirs. Let everyone attend to their responsibilities. Let's set clear boundaries, and you will be amazed at the amount of shift and growth that happens, okay? If your birthday falls in this little 3-day period of October 18th through October 20th, all right, it's a very vital time. Pluto is going to be working with your sun in a very challenging way this year. You are going to be forced to go into introspection mode in some way, where this introspection leads to transformation. Pluto is the planet of endings that lead to new beginnings. You want massive new beginnings, and especially in relationship and communication styles and relationship, Pluto is going to be working with you to see that happen because the scales are so unbelievably balanced. If it's not in relationship, it's in another area of your life. So this is a year where recognizing the power and control issues that surface in that particular area, work, relationship, you name it, okay? Where is there struggles when it comes to power and control? Step back and recognize that and break away from these patterns. When you do, when you spend that time inside, when you purify and purge yourself of what's no longer needed, amazing things can happen, all right? Amazing things can happen. These are just the general views for my Libra friends this year. I so very much wish you a happy new year, a prosperous and healthy new year full of grace and abundance, and most of all, love. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.